In this video, we're going over the 7 different passive income sources that you could start using to generate income. In this coming year, hopefully some of these sources will be a little bit less common than some of the typical ones that you will see in some other blog posts or some other YouTube videos about passive incomes. So let's get right into this video. If you find this video to be helpful don't forget to drop the like and subscribe if you haven't done already for more videos like this one. Alright, so let's get into this. I will start with the number 7 and let's work our way down to the number 1 passive incomes sources for this coming year. So starting with the number 7, it would be by the renting out your stuff. And now I want to mean by this this is what we are becoming more and more of the sharing economy, and so often over the year we have been sharing more and more of our personal items. So just to use an example here of the something that you could rent out of, you could consider something like your car. So there is something called Toro. It's the app, it's also Toro.com. Now I am not affiliated with any of these websites or companies that I mentioned in this video. What's over, I'm not getting paid by anybody to say this, but Toro is the app where essentially you can rent out your car, kind of like the car rental company, or the random people, usually visitors who are coming into your area, into your city, and you can rent it out for the 50, 60 or $70 a day or more for your car. And I know at first this sounds a little bit skittish, like what if somebody rents your car and then drives it off a cliff? No, actually you will be insured by Toro. You can also do this with something like renting out your boat. If you own a boat, you can rent it out. It can remember the specific site that you can use the rent out your boppy. You can get the hundreds of the dollars per day, depending on what kind of the boat you have to rent it out to people like the vacation nurse, and then your insurance up to about $1 million or so, depending on what company you are going to this through. But it's a very interesting concept. If you have something that you owned, they could consider renting out. I would definitely look into it. It's very easy passive income. So you can even rent out cameras like the one I'm filming with right now. I can rent it out on a few different websites that maybe I will leave some links to them down below. But essentially anything that you owned that it has some value to here's the good chances that today in 2018 you can probably lend it out to somebody. And luckily through most of these companies, as long as you are not doing this like other Craigslist, most of the companies that you do this rental through, you will actually be insured for the things that you are renting out to the people. So definitely look into it, think about something that you can read doubt for different possibilities. Okay, so let's get into the next 6 different possibilities and behind passive income sources. And the next one that I wanted to mention into it's not only to stocks photos but also stock videos and actually stock musics. So what I meant by this, I want you to know that most people, they talk about stocks photography, and that's always the options. You can do iStock photo and Shutterstocks, and there's many different websites out there that you can take picture and then put them on here and get the passive incomes for those pictures. But what you can also do is video. So you can do what with this camera right here cost me $500. I could go around say the New York City and make tons of the stocks videos. that I can get sell on some of these different sites 40, 50, or 60 or more. Some of them well into the hundreds of the dollars for the stocks of the videos. Now, what you can also do, and I don't really see the people talking about this, but it's definitely an opportunity, is you can actually create the music and beats, for example. So this doesn't have to be difficult as people make it out to be. Now, I'm obviously not a musicians, but what you could do, and I find it to be pretty interesting, because personally what I do, I buy musics and beats for my YouTube channels. Sometimes I will buy a beat for the commercial licenses for like the 20 or $30 to now own it, and now I am able to use that for the commercial purpose. Well, what you can do is you can actually become the person who makes those beats, and that's music that you can do this through various Adobe software and other free software that you can get on your computer. And it's actually not too difficult. Watch some YouTube videos, learn how to make the music's basic beats, and then sell those over time. You make YouTube videos about it, and then you can generate a very good amount of the income from those different sources. So stock photography, stock videos, and then even the stock music. You can sell those bits for the years and years to come for something that might take you a couple hours to create, and then you pump it out, and then you get it out there for the very long time. So let's get into the next 5 different sources of the passive incomes. Number 5, it might seem like the long short for some people, but it's actually probably a lot easier to accomplish than you might realize. So if you were watch the show Shark Tank, you see the Mark Cuban and Kevin O'Leary and those other sharks on the Shark Tank. Well, they are investors and they can buy parts of the company. They can buy 10% of the company, 20% of the company, where you can actually become one of those people in your local community. And these are called the incubator events that entrepreneurs will have going. So what you can do is you can become the silent partner in one of those businesses, and this is amazing opportunity. So let's just say that Betty wants to open up the bakery, and she needs the $5,000, and she's offering 10% of her future bakery businesses. Well, if you have the $5,000, you put that down. Now you own 10% of the hair businesses. You're going to get 10% of those profits, and you are a silent partner and in that businesses. So it's a very interesting way to make the money, and you don't have to have millions of the dollars to do this. You don't have to be the Mark Cuban to invest, the $1 million into the company for the 10% of the company. You can do this very small scale. Usually these are like your local university. You will see these incubator events, so just keep an eye out of them. And I really think it's the awesome opportunity if you go there and you check out what these small startups are trying to do, and then you can get into it. Just to give you an example here, when Steve Jobs started Apple back in the 1970s, I think the first investors, I can't remember these names off the top of my head, but I think that he put in something about $70,000 or so, and he got a certain percentage of the Apple, and so you could essentially become the person like that. Now, I mean, you might not buy the 10% of the Apple when it first starts, but there could be the small businesses that you could get into and become the silent partner and make money passively for the very long time by just buying into the company, giving them some money, and now you own percentage of the company. So just keep in mind, like I said, it doesn't have to be the massive businesses. You don't have to have the ton of the money, just a couple of $1,000. You could probably buy the percentage of the new startups, and yeah, I think there is a lot of the better than the something like penny stocks, which I don't want to bet on the penny stocks. But I think when you are actually meeting a small businesses owner in the person, you're shaking your hand, and you're creating the relationships with them, and makes it much better options than sometimes something like the penny stocks, what you're trying to do is to over the internet, and you are trying to make the money, and it could become the very trouble solve pretty quickly. So there's four more on this lesson that I wanted to mention, and number four actually creates a little bit of the backstory here, and what I need to tell you about. So there's the man in my community. Here's coming up to the 30 now, but when he was graduating high school, then what he started to do, he started to the two rental businesses, and this is the great source of the passive income. So now he is built his up, I'm sure is well into the millions of the dollars. The business study has you drive down the highway, and you see the amount of the tools that he has. He has front end loader, back hose, fork lifts, and he is renting this out for the hundreds of the dollars per day dump truck, all kinds of the heavy duty equipment. But he started very small by the renting out like the chainsaws and work sprinted, and very small items for the 40 or the $50 a day, and then over time he built that up. He reinvestment it, and he created this the pretty large tool rental company. And when you think about it, it's very practical, because say that you want to go out and you wanted to build a shed in your backyard, but you need some power tools for that, and you have two options. You could go out and buy $600 worth of the power tools, or you can just rent $200 worth of the power tools and get the job done, because you might not only need those power tools for one single project, and then you don't need to do it anymore. And you want to have some massive band laying around your houses when you don't need it. So it's why you could start to rent a company, and it can become the very passive, especially if you outsource some of the labor, your hire mechanics. That's what this guy, he has a whole team going now, and I'm sure he is very involved in the businesses, but he could set it up to automate a lot more than it is currently. And at the moment, a true rental businesses is the investing idea that I saw in my community, that I thought would be somewhat beneficial to some people. Maybe you can get some ideas from this video, and sort of the like spin them off into your own ideas about how you could do something along these lines. Number three may just be the favorite passive income source, and this is by the creating an online course. Now there's a few roads to go here, and immediately some people will shut this down. They will say, I don't want to be the camera, I don't want to be selling my face, I don't want to be associated with something. And I think that's overblown. Those concerns that people have, because really you don't have to have any face concerns of the anything. You can create online courses on the something like Udemy, once again, and not sponsored by any of these companies I mentioned here, but udemy.com, you can create the online courses there, and then so some of these courses that I taken on you, to me I paid like the $12 for, and here's thousands of the people who buy certain courses here, like some of they will sell 20,000 or 30,000 of their courses for the $12 annually, and some of them are quite literally just PowerPoint slides that somebody voices over. But I bought it in the many of these courses, and I found so much value in these online courses, and Udemy can actually market those courses for you. So it's not like you have fun based, right? A way is to start creating these courses. You can just do them on the Udemy and bend it out. We can probably, yeah, I mean, I swear some of these courses, they definitely make them in the weekend. Maybe it takes them a week or to make them. It's just the slave of the PowerPoint size, and they read through, and they show you how to do something, but they can be very, very beneficial. I mean, I've gotten many great Udemy courses that I've learned a lot from, and I paid $12 of them to 20 some dollars. Gotten many great Udemy courses that I've learned a lot from, and I've paid 12 for them or 20 some dollars for them, and gotten the great amount of the value out of those courses. So you can consider that, or you can go the route of the starting a YouTube channel and then selling like the $500 course people to do that, and they make a lot of the money. A lot of the YouTubers today are 7 day courses for the very large chunks of the chans, and they are making a lot of the money. Now, as far as this channel, I don't think I'm gonna to be selling courses so much on that. I might get into you to me a little bit because I don't like I'm discounted informations. It's the great options udemy.com, or just creating your own online courses when you can sort of differ from this, and you could go with the ebook routine. I choose online courses through, I think online courses are just better. I think people want to watch videos. Ebooks are certainly helpful as well, but the profit margins on online courses can be much more exponential. That something like the ebooks that could really kind of the sputter out. But that's up to you now. You want to do that, but selling information products along those lines is the great road to go. I mean, if you look somebody is like the Lopez, that's exactly what he does. People have been wondering why Lopez does TV. Lopez make money. Well, he's actually making his money through his online courses. That is the primary source of the income. He sells online courses, and love it or hate it, he makes a lot of the money from those courses. So it's the great passive income sources, because you make it and then you can just ramp the rewards from it for years and years to come. From that one course that took you maybe a week to make, and now you can just make the money on it for years and years to come. So it's the great options. There's two more that I think are important to mention on this list. Number two is something that everybody should be doing now. I'm personally doing it because I don't own a home, so I can really do it, and that is by utilizing Airbnb. Now this is so important because you can take so much money from this if you have an extra room in your houses. If you have a couple rooms in your house, you can get over $100 per room, depending on where you live. Sometimes it's going to be lower. Maybe you get 50, 60, or $70 per night per room. That you have in your house, but you can utilize Airbnb and you can rent it out, sort of run your house as like the hotel. So if you are not comfortable having people in your house with Airbnb, you could also consider renting out parking spaces. You can actually probably do Airbnb in the camper. There's so many possibilities behind this. You could rent out land to farmers if you have the guard and just rent it out to somebody. Land and property is something that you can always rent out to people. It's such a great opportunity for people if you are looking for the passive incomes. It can be incredibly passive if you are the couple of the acres of the lands and somebody wants to grow something in that in there or raise some animals in there. They can totally do that, and you can get easily the few $100s per month just off that land. But like I said, that Airbnb amazing road to go if you own a home or you have the apartment where you're allowed to do that. It's just a great options. Number one passive income sources that can truly be a business. So I'm going to try explain this as best as possible. But if you are ever read the books, the 4 Hour Work Week, it's amazing books. Some people don't like it. They find the author to be somewhat of the snake oil salesman, but it's very interesting if you are interested in passive incomes. I would definitely consider reading it. You're going to get a lot of the different ideas, and then you can sort of take some of them and run with them if you would like. But that comes down to is that 95% of the businesses can be fully automated. And so when you think about some of the richest people in the world, they only have 24 hours in a day. They have the same time that you and I have, but the difference is that they automated their businesses. So what they will do is they will set up the businesses, and let's just say it like the lawn care company, for example. They will set it up and then they will eventually hire people and then have it automated. So they will have like the managers, and the managers will take care of their businesses. And now the persons at the top of the don't really have to do too much, and it's the full automated or 99% automated. They don't really have to touch it. So then they can go and work for the different businesses, and that's the key behind this. And you can really do this with almost any businesses. That what I do with my eBay businesses is it doesn't make very much money today, probably $30 or $40 a day depending on the day. But I really don't touch the businesses. I have somebody else ships out the products for me, and so this proves that you can really do anything passively. You can make passive incomes with any different businesses that you can think of, even like the plumbing company. You can start one and then create the passive incomes through that by automating the entire businesses. And that's really number one. Here it doesn't matter what businesses you are starting, just learn how to automate the businesses. And that's what I loved about these books. Maybe I will leave the link in the descriptions if I actually remember to put it down there for these books. It's definitely interesting. You can also probably get it for free in the audible versions. It might be on the YouTube. I think you can find it on the audible as well. But definitely look into so the number one source of any businesses. You look for some richest people in the world. Think about Warren Buffett. He started with the pinball machines and gumball machines. He is making 25 cents of these different products, but he had these setups passively. So it's the great opportunity. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next time.